All right, chat. What is going on, everybody? Actually, you know what? Let's just keep it on brand for today. Another turkey-themed background. Really doing it today. What is going on, you guys? It is Friday, November 28th. You are listening to the Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Like I said, guys, it's Friday. We're not going to do too much today, anything too crazy today. Just want to cover a couple things. Okay, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Chief the Yorkie, thanks for tapping in. First comment of the day, love to see it. Chief, what's going on, brother? Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Couple things I want to talk to. I'm not going to stay on here. This isn't a normal live stream that you guys normally see from me and the Coin Zone. Obviously, this isn't the normal setup. I'm home in New Jersey for the holidays. I'll be back into the normal swing of things next week. Chief the Yorkie, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Love to see it. Listen, guys, I just want to comment on a couple things. So I can't share my screen, so I have some things written down. We're just going to run through them through here. So first thing, number one, just curious to see what you guys have experienced while being home for the holidays. Speaking of family and friends, etc. I've had some comments from family, from friends about the price of Bitcoin, which is funny to me because I don't even care, to be honest. And I think a lot of us in here long-term understand what I mean by that. And I'm going to show you an example. Okay, so let's start here. Like I said, guys, this isn't your normal live stream, so work with me. Hit that like on the way and make sure to sub to the channel if you haven't already. All right, let's get right into this. So the biggest thing, the biggest mainstay since I've been home, speaking to individuals, and just even the last week or two, all I'm hearing from all angles and sides is negativity about the price of Bitcoin. And I'm like, someone who's been in here, who's been accumulating for a couple of years, it's weird to me. It's funny because I don't think the average person really understands what's going on here. So, I saw my mom, guys. She's very supportive. She might even be watching this stream now. So, Mom, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but this is there's a gap of information and knowledge that's missing between. And let's zoom out, guys. As you always know, it's the number one thing that we say here on the channel is to zoom out. Some of this micro stuff doesn't matter. You got to look at the bigger picture in the macro. Okay, and you have to zoom out and look at charts over not a 3-month perspective, what's going on the past 30 days. You got to zoom out on a year to 3-year, 5, 10-year time frame, guys, to get a clearer picture. Okay, that's all we do on this channel here is, look at charts. So let's start from here. So Bitcoin went from a high of 120. During that time, while Bitcoin was going on a run, barely anybody said anything. I had some people reach out, ask me questions, ask me how I'm doing, my portfolio is doing, etc. There was a little bit of interest, right? So on the way up, some interest. On the way down, all the interest. Why is that? Do people like to hate? Then they like to make money? I don't get it, because here's the thing. My portfolio is still up close to 200%. The average buy price is around $30,000. So when it drops from a high of 126 down to what it did in November here, $84,000. It's a big swing. It's a $40,000 swing almost. Well, it is actually. That's massive. The average person looks at that and says, what? Who would hold that asset? That doesn't make sense. That's fair. That's exactly how I used to look at it. But again, guys, what do we have to do? We have to zoom out. And I'm going to give you a reference off of a tweet. This is Watcher Guru. Talk about them a lot. So the price of Bitcoin on Thanksgiving. If I would be able to share this, it's going to be a lot easier, but I'll read it off for you guys. 2010, the price was at 28 cents. 2011, $2.49. 2012, the price is at $12.51. Now, let's skip 2013, 14, 15. Let's go to 16. In a 4-year time frame, the price went from $12.51 to $739. Now, when it crashed from 739 back down to whatever it probably did, down to 400 or something, it's the same thing that I just described, that we're going through right now, this same cycle. Now, again, I tell you and I implore you to zoom out, because that's all that matters. Unless you have like a 6-month or a year time horizon and you're more of a swing trader, it doesn't matter. I hear you. Oh my God, Mom, you figured out how to comment? Let's go. Let's get it. But here's the deal, guys. So the price in 4 years, 2012, $12.51, 2016, 739 cents. Now let's continue to go over the years. We're at 2016. Let's jump to 2020. What's the price? $18,000, 18,764. So again, guys, you zoom out. When it crashed from 739 down to 400 or 300 something, which I'm sure it did, after going from $12, you think the people who bought at $12 gave a shit? No. It's exactly what we're experiencing right now. So in 2020, COVID years, we're at 18,000, right? Around that same time horizon into 2021 is when we saw the first blow off top, $69,000 high in 2021. All right. What happens next? An obvious correction. This is the history, guys. This is what the chart showed us since the beginning of time, since 2009, since Satoshi put on the mainnet. This is the exact thing that happens. This is the cycle. It might not be a 4-year cycle based off the halvings, right? The narrative right now, Raoul Pal, countless others, is that the cycles are actually driven by liquidity and debt and not the Bitcoin 4-year cycle, which makes a lot more sense, to be honest. Why it took everyone this long to realize it, beyond me. Let's continue going down the years, guys. So in 2020, we're at 18,000. Just a year later, like we said, blow off top, reached 69. On the day of Thanksgiving, it was at 58. Where are we at now, guys? Zooming out, 2025. We reached 126. On Thanksgiving is at 91. Here's the message I'm trying to say is, in Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving in 4 years from now, the price of Bitcoin will probably be 275K, and then it's going to drop to 210K, and everyone's going to say, oh, shit, Paul, did you lose all your money? No, guys, that's not how this works. And again, if we continue to zoom out, the price is always much higher on that 4-year period. Historically, it's never been any different. You can't even find data to show me anything different. That's the beauty and the curse of this thing, this brand new digital asset of what we call Bitcoin and the rest of the entire crypto market. But for right now, we're talking about Bitcoin. We only have around 15 to 16 years of charts to look from. It's not the S&P. We can't go back a long time. So it's a little different in that sense, guys, but it's consistent. And the consistency is what draws in investors. This is an asset we've never seen before, and it's why so many people can't comprehend it. But at the end of the day, the only thing that you should care about is that the asset that you hold is scarce. It can't be confiscated from you. It's not illegal to hold in any fashion. And it appreciates. And there's no counterparty risk. How many other assets can you find that do all that outside of Bitcoin? There's not many, if any. You know, we have the digital asset landscape now, the rest of the market, the rest of the blockchain crypto market. But as we know, guys, Bitcoin kicked the whole thing off here. And when it comes to appreciation, you know, I'm sure maybe some XRP for holders in the chat here are going to tell me different. But, okay, you know, we zoom out. XRP is not even at an all-time high. Bitcoin consistently does that. Now, you can say, yeah, the SEC interrupted, really slowed down the progression. I'm not hating. I like XRP. I'm a fan. We've interviewed tons of XRP people on the channel here. Huge community, good project. I have nothing bad to say about it. I'm just simply stating a fact, guys. It hasn't seen an all-time high. It's gotten very close. However, Bitcoin continuously, consistently, you can bank on it happening over a 4-year period, continues to see new highs without break. So, that's just the point, guys, this is the psychological situation that being home, talking to family, friends, just even, beforehand, seeing that price drop from 120, 110 down to 80 something, people freaked out. I don't even care, guys. This is a feature, not a bug. Michael Saylor will tell you this every single time. I'm sure Buddy just bought more. The volatility to the downside is needed to get the major upswings. Smart investors during these times don't freak out and panic. They accumulate. That's the message, guys. On Thanksgiving, you might be stuffed to the brim. I don't know what you guys ate yesterday. Turkey, is mac and cheese a staple? Let me know in the comments. We might be stuffed. If your pockets are stuffed as well, and you got some cash on the side, never investment advice here in the channel, as you guys know in the coin zone, but it could be a good time to dollar cost average and accumulate more if you have a long-term time horizon and you're focused on Bitcoin or other digital assets. Now, the name of the game is to try to do this with other projects outside of Bitcoin, right? Now, any maxi will tell you it's pointless. You're going to end up losing your money. Bitcoin's the only one. Now, there's a lot of validity to a lot of these maxis, but I can't view life that way. I can't view the entire market that way. I think it's closed-minded. You're potentially missing out on a lot of gains with that mindset. And there are really good projects outside of Bitcoin. And this is an altcoin focused channel. We talk about them all the time, every live stream. But, for example, a project like ADA, under 50 cents right now. If my entire bag was in Bitcoin, I'd be up much better right now. But again, guys, I have that longer term time horizon. I knew this was in the cards. If I still have conviction, now's a good time to accumulate. So at the end of the day, it's always the same message here, guys. Zoom out. Don't poop your pants. You got to relax. Beating the odds. What's up, brother? Thanks for commenting. Great content. Appreciate all the good work. The Oracle. Glad to see you tapping back in, brother, on this Friday. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Always love the interactions. If you guys are, if this resonates with any of you, if what I'm saying right now, the discussion for family and friends, Bitcoin's going to zero, whatever, oh, it's crashing, are you broke? Like, no, that's not what's going on here, guys. Love to see it though, man. I love these lives because I get to chop it up with you guys. The Oracle, Chief, the Yorkie, all you guys, man. Love to see it. But that's just the message today, guys. I talk to a lot of individuals. We do a lot of interviews on this channel. We got a ton of really amazing stuff coming for you guys. Go right now on the Liquid Loans channel. Check out the interview I did with Christian Ajoa, Crypto Crazy. If you want legit, genuine advice, insight from a guy who's not a shiller, who's really intelligent, who's built a lot of products, has a TradFi experience, bringing over to blockchain. I mean, this is a great interview. Christian's the man. He's a great guy. Go watch that on the Liquid Loans channel, my interview that just came out today with Christian Ajoa. You guys are going to love that. And we also have huge interviews coming for you guys. One of the fan favorites on the channel here, our best performing video, close to 10K views. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but that gave it away right there. If you guys are true Coin Zone OGs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we got that coming on the channel next week. We also have a great interview coming out next week as well. So 2 interviews coming out next week. And for the women here, if we have any, I'm hopeful we do. That will be a good episode for you guys. All right, the women in crypto, you're gonna love that one. And if you're listening right now and you want to be a guest and you're a woman on crypto, let us know. Hit me up in the DMs, Crypto with Paul, you know what it is. We'll get it happening. And then, guys, we have two really huge AI interviews coming up. And I'll let you know specifically the communities we're talking about. We have BitTensor Tau and the Akash Network. So Akash Network might not be a big name to a lot of people. It's not as big as BitTensor. It's not a big, I don't even know if it's in the top of 200 of projects. But if you watch the lives with me here, you've heard this before because I've talked about Akash a ton of times. All right, so we're gonna have two really awesome interviews for you guys. Actually 4, in the next coming weeks, excuse me. So stay tuned for those, guys, because, we bring a ton of different content for you guys, the live streams, the shorts, the clips, the longer educational form videos. Right now, we're putting an emphasis in the interviews, okay? We want you guys to get as much education from those interviews as you can. So if you're tapping in right now, love you guys, appreciate it. Make sure to sub to the channel, hit the like if you mess with this, if you felt like you got value from it. And stay tuned, guys. That's all I got for you. All right, it's Friday. I'm not going to ramble on. The weekend's here. We're probably all full, tired, traveling, etc., whatever it is. Man, shout out to Christopher Columbus. You already know what it is. Chief the Yorkie, have a great weekend, brother. We'll see you again on Monday. Make sure to tap in. That's really it, guys. Let me know if you've heard similar things from family and friends this past couple of days, this past week, etc. What it is. All right, nice. Tau is very intriguing. How do you feel about ICP? Yeah, I mean, ICP is something I was interested in a couple years back. There's a couple things that don't sit right with me with ICP. The chart, just off the top of my head, I think it peaked at 600 something, 666 or something, whatever it was. A lot of manipulation going on there, guys. Can it get back to that price point? I have no idea. The chart looks really strange to me. However, I've heard really, really good things about ICP, about the developers, the core team now, right? The technology behind it, for a lot of great things. However, for me, I don't touch it because the chart looks too weird to me. I've heard some things about manipulation in the past. I don't know. It's been around for a little bit. You have some of these coins that lose momentum, guys. Even if the tech's there, there's new things that are more exciting to these investors in the eyes of Wall Street too. Why is this cycle different? We've addressed this so many times because this isn't your typical 2017 bull cycle. We have institutions in Wall Street here now, guys. That's billions of capital that have never been in this space before, that are now dictating what projects can do good or not if they start to invest in it. And what I'm trying to say here, if ICP is not one of those projects, I don't know what the future for it's going to look like. Now, that doesn't mean if a project doesn't get Wall Street institutional funding, it's going to do bad. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to understand. For example, any coin that has multiple ETFs live or pending right now, I've got my eyes on that. For sure, we're talking about billions going to flow into that, right? So that's something you have to keep your eye on. Now, ICP, I don't know. Maybe I can do a little bit more research, but I don't know if it has grab, if it has staying power, if it has partnerships and all these things. Even though I've heard the tech is good, I think they've had to get to that point and work past a lot of weird things that didn't do good for its name, the branding, etc. And I'm just going to pull up the chart real quick too. And what else? I was just typing that. It goes off a cliff right from the start. Yeah, and guys, that's always something that's a red flag for me, but I've seen other projects where a chart looks weird. They ICO, etc. The price is pretty high, immediately dumps or drops low. Yeah, that's something that's super strange and would obviously a red flag, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a rug, the team's bad, etc. It could mean something bad happened, and they're trying to figure that out now. Zcash, same thing. That's right. So the thing with Zcash, guys, if you didn't see our privacy video that came out a couple weeks ago on YouTube, go check it out. Talk about Zcash, talk about Monero. We talked about Dash, and we talked about Midnight. And if you're watching, Charles Hoskinson, which he's definitely not, that'd be sick though, right? Charles, if you're watching, we want to have you on to talk about Midnight. Now, I just chopped it up with Angry Crypto again recently. We'll see if he can help make that happen for us. Angry, shout out to you, brother. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Big friend of the channel. Yeah, the same thing with Zcash is, so supposedly, I'm pretty sure this is Zcash if I remember this correctly. First off, the institutional interest, the Winklevoss twins, what's going on? There's Treasury now, I forget with who. Why is this happening out of nowhere? And why Zcash? And you are right with Zcash too, Chief. If we look at the chart Zcash, it did have that. Now, why though? Because people were talking that most of Zcash was pre-mined by a couple wallets, the internal team. That's what I believe did it. Now let's look at the chart of Zcash real quick. Obviously, I can't pull it up on the screen. I'm just going to look at it on my phone. So if we're zooming all out, that is insane, guys. I didn't even realize how crazy this drop off was. So basically debuted at 5,900, almost $6 grand. It's now at $458. And for most of its history, it was at $35, $60, whatever. Even when you look at right now, you would think since it's up 1,500% or so in the year, well, now it's 741%, it was up 1,500%. You would think with that crazy returns, if you zoom out and look at the all-time chart, that you would see an all-time high. But no, it goes like this. Super strange, guys, super strange. Now, if most of the coins were pre-mined, that means it doesn't even matter if you have Wall Street and institutions getting it. Let's say Bitcoin, let's say Satoshi pre-mined 80% of Bitcoin or something, or 60, even 60, or even 40%. You really think it would catch on as big as it did, as it is right now? If most of Satoshi, Satoshi pre-mined it, or the first transaction with Hal Finney, or the first couple guys, if they had the majority of it? No, that's not what decentralization looks like. So why is this happening with Zcash? I have no idea who's behind this. I have no idea why. Because in my eyes, Midnight's probably way better. It's programmable. It's a Gen 3, Gen 4, however you want to look at this time-wise. It's just so much, it's so better. You know, even newer things, you know, like Dash, and there's other offerings now, guys. Now, I think the privacy sector is going to be really strange because there's still regulations that need to be figured out here. Everything that happened with Tornado Cash, code is not law, guys. We saw someone go to prison because of a code that they wrote. So we now have a little bit more clarity in regards to the legality behind these things. I think Midnight's going to smash it out the park. Midnight has a partnership with the Google Cloud, guys, with Google. Does Zcash have that? No. Midnight's not even out yet on mainnet, December 9th. I mean, we'll see. You guys know I participated in the Glacier drop, the mining of Midnight. I didn't get too many, but I'm excited to see what the price, the debut of the token will be. Charles said that he wouldn't be surprised if it got to a $10 billion market cap in a very short amount of time, which is insane. We'll see, guys, but yes, stick around for that. We'll see what happens with the privacy side of things. What are some other projects you guys are curious about? As we wrap it up, I want to hang out with you guys for a little bit more here, but let me know in the comments, guys, just what else are you looking at? Are you interested in? I'll be happy to run through it. Yeah, so many good technologies, but doesn't always mean they're going to be a good investment in the long term, I guess. Yeah, and you got to be honest about these things too, guys. And you know, even Cardano for me, I have so much conviction over, been accumulating for a long time. I'm still upset and trying to be honest about some of these things. Why don't we have a tier 1 stablecoin yet? There's so many things that just like, you know, if you're in the ADA community, or if you're in just like the crypto world in general on X, you see what's happening right now. We finally have a fusion of the 3 or 4 basically divisions behind ADA, the founding entities behind them, actually coming together. So you had all these 4, you had the treasury sitting there, all these amazing things that people got involved in Cardano because they like, just freaking sitting here being useless. What's the point of having a treasury if you're not using it? What's the point of having founding entities push the space forward if they're not collaborating? Or push the project forward? Doesn't make sense. It's really upsetting. The price is not where I thought it would be at all, right? But the entire market is kind of indicative of that. So it's a tough pill to swallow for most of us right now, I'm sure. Not fun to see your portfolio go down over 50%. That's insane, right? But yeah. Virtual protocol. Yeah, if you're talking about virtuals on ETH with the NFT marketplace, etc., virtuals is actually something I've talked about a couple times on the channel before. Now, I don't really dive into coins like that, NFT marketplaces, etc., but there was something about virtual that stuck out to me. If you're talking about this, beating the odds. Yeah, Virtuals Protocol, I believe it's up on the year. No, down 31% on the year. So we did see a nice increase at around the November, December timeframe of last year when most things were having a good run. It got up to over $5. We're sitting at under $1 right now. So, I mean, there's something about virtuals that I liked. I don't specifically remember what it was, but I thought it was going to do good. So far, it's up over 2,000% in its lifetime. Been around for a year and a half-ish. A lot of room to run. So far that chart looks good to me, guys. Look at this chart. See, like, there's so many things I look at when it comes to if I'm going to actually put money on this. So many things have to align for me. Now, you guys might find out I would consider myself a fairly conservative investor within this space. Over 50% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, and I'm very happy about that. Well, probably around 50 at this point. And then I have a lot in ADA too, which I also think is very conservative. But yeah, guys, when you're looking at capital to put on some of these projects, it's $1 million to choose from in this space. It's way overwhelming, and most of them are shit, and most of them are going to zero, and most of them are scams. That's a fact. You got to know that. Okay, I'm not talking about the top 30. I'm not talking about the top 10, the top 50. And some of them, yeah, some of them make their way up there and come burning down. We saw what happened to Terra Luna. Things happen. But at the end of the day, if you're going to put money on anything, know what the hell you're getting yourself into, guys. Know the community. Is there even a community? Is the community bots? Are they real people? Who's the developers behind it? Who are the core developers? Do they even have developers building, pushing the project forward? Who's the founding entities behind it? The CEO, etc., the founder? Can they build revenue? So many things you got to look out for, guys. The fundamentals of the protocol, pre-mine, cap supply, fair distribution, VC money. All these things are super important. Now, again, the other thing that is important for me is looking at the chart. Now, when you see a chart like Zcash, immediate red flag off the bat. Now, does that mean that it's not good or anything of that nature? No, necessarily, not necessarily. It could be an indication that launch didn't go well, internal things weren't going well. You know, they had to make some changes. Doesn't mean the rug pull though. Now that's true. Now, if you want to determine that, if you think you're looking at a chart that's making you feel weird, but the rest of your analysis are right, maybe go for it. But for me, the chart is super important. A lot of the things that I spend my time on, the charts look nice. Bitcoin is a beautiful chart if you zoom out. Now I want to see, if I zoom out on other projects, does it look similar? That's why I'm a big fan of Caspa. That's why I'm a big fan of BitTensor. If you look at those two charts, something that looks normal and healthy and not manipulated in my eyes is what I'm super interested in. Now, with a small market cap like Virtuals, it looked really nice and clean just now when I looked at it. But that doesn't surprise me because no one really talks about Virtuals. It's not like you have manipulators or Wall Street, whatever, large you know, bag holders that can dictate, you know, if they sell or something, it's like 30% of the supply. I don't know, but we're zooming out, guys. Now, this is flipped. Well, it kind of looks like a freaking dinosaur, but picture this flipped. So this is the start. Look, we're up over when it started. That's what I care about. Are we up from where we started? Yes. Caspa's chart to me is very nice, very healthy looking. BitTensor, let's go to BitTensor. BitTensor Tau is one of my favorite projects just in general. Look at this. Started, nice, a little volatility, up from where we started. And I'm expecting this to go like this in 2026 as well. A BitTensor under 300, that's a buy for me. BitTensor under 300. I mean, guys, to me, Bitcoin's going to at least 3K over the next couple of years. Genuinely, that's how I think. BitTensor has over a lot of other projects right now. I think it's a lot of things going for it. A lot of things. As you guys know, I've been very open about my portfolios. You know, I have a couple. I have my Roth portfolio. I don't touch, I trade in that. Well, I honestly don't trade. I'm going to start to. The only thing I traded once was I got into silver at around $24, I think it was. Let's see. What is the price of silver? $57. Yeah, I got into silver at around, I think it was $21, $22. Basically 2x'd it and put it into Bitcoin in my Roth. Zero trading fees. That's the beauty of I Trust Capital. If you guys like I Trust Capital, zero trading fees inside a retirement account. Check it out. All right. Maybe in the future, I'll put my link down there so you guys can see it. Oh, I just didn't even realize we don't even have the banner going. There we go. But yeah, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it. 32 minutes in. I appreciate you guys for sitting here, commenting, chopping it with me, beating the odds. Last comment here. Yeah, so many things, like you said. I've only been in crypto for about a year, so it's a lot to learn, but I'm getting better. Absolutely. And that's the only thing you can do, man. And we love, and you have to be vulnerable, guys. All right, I don't think many people realize you got to leave your ego out the door when it comes to this, especially if you're like swing trading or day trading. Oh, Jesus. So many people just bring their egos into everything. You're going to lose, guys. You're not always going to make the right investment. You're going to lose money, especially like beating the odds. I'm not saying you're going to guarantee to lose money, but you know, you're a year in. You might make a couple mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you learn. And that's why you kind of play around first before you do this with bigger capital. Get your feet wet. So if you lose money, you're losing maybe a little bit, not a lot. And that's the whole point. And I think we're in a great time zone to ever do this. I really don't think people get it, how big the entire sector is going to be in the future. Caspa seems like they have good tech and history behind them. MARA Holdings mines Caspa and Bitcoin, so that's got to mean something. You're right. Marathon mines Caspa. Unfortunately, however, though, they use that as profit. They sell the Caspa that they mine to then buy more Bitcoin. So not a lot of conviction there behind the future of the project. I think they're basically just taking advantage of the mining aspect behind it because it's more efficient than Bitcoin mining. So if in the future, could we potentially see some projects open up a Caspa treasury and maybe do that contributing to it via mining? Yeah, I think it's a great idea. But again, I don't know how long Caspa mining is going to continue to be more profitable, more efficient. We've already seen a big dip over the past year and a half or so. If you want to learn more about Caspa mining, The Hobbyist Miner is a great YouTube channel to watch. He just had on a Caspa miner who has like huge ass ASIC miners who's been mining Caspa since it was at like a cent or something like that. The Hobbyist Miner. I'm always giving shameless plugs in these lives, bro. I'm not even asking for anything in return. But that guy's got a great channel. I got to be honest. If you want to learn more about mining in general, about Caspa mining, Dogecoin, or Bitcoin mining, go check out his channel. That is really all I got for you guys today. Always appreciate you guys commenting, chopping it up. Like I said, I'm not home right now. You know, my normal setup in the office, back in Jersey for the holidays. I'll be back in my office soon. So I'll see you guys again next week. Appreciate all of you guys for commenting, chopping it up with me, and tapping in. Love to see it. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Make sure to sub to the channel, like this video if you haven't already. That's all I got for you guys. Take care. See you later.